Who would have thought that the EA CEO in 2009, when they first introduced loot boxes and microtransactions, would now make another fuck up 14 years later? Oh, everybody. He's one of the greediest people I've ever seen. Not ever seen, but like inside of games media or game development. He's got a track record.
The games industry.
Got a track record.
He wants that money. Money. Gamers 2 Podcast. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Like bacon.
Ooh.
I like bacon.
I like bacon.
It's bad for you.
Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Food.
You know, there's a diet where you're supposed to eat a lot of it.
Yes.
Keto.
Yeah.
All fats, baby.
Yep. I tried something new. So
Keto?
No, not keto. Come on, bro. You think I have this one for keto?
No.
You think my butthole could handle keto?
No.
Okay. So
unrelated though.
yeah, I tried a new thing. So I've gotten a really bad habit. Not a lot of time during the day, in the morning specifically. And you know what? There's not a lot of time ever. But I've fallen into the trap of not eating breakfast.
Same trap I've been in for years. Just so
well, not eating breakfast like at home or, you know, like I know you don't eat food in the morning. You're one of those weird people. I really should be burnt at the fucking stake. Yeah. You fucking abomination.
I do if I'm home.
Long story short, I've been going to Dunkin' and getting a breakfast sandwich every day for a long time, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
It adds up pretty quickly.
That alone would make me not.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm getting a breakfast sandwich. I might as well get coffee as well. So I get breakfast and coffee every morning.
$50 a week?
40 something.
Yeah.
45 probably.
Yeah.
So I tried a new thing this week. Trying to go healthy. Went with the
I'm listening.
Went with the whole grain seeded bread.
We're still going to Dunkin' for this idea.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm making this.
Oh, okay. I thought
meal prep. We're in meal prep now.
Okay, all right.
Whole grain seeded bread.
Okay.
Soft boiled eggs. That's
okay.
where the yolk's still jammy.
Yeah.
Ground turkey, lean ground turkey, that I've made into breakfast sausage of my own.
You tubed it?
No, like patties.
Oh, okay.
So I took ground turkey and I basically threw a bunch of spices in it that I was interested in.
Sure.
And then pattied it up and then fried those patties.
Okay.
And then took a soft boiled egg, cut that sucker in half, smushed it on the patty, 2 pieces of bread, plastic cling wrap.
Okay.
All fridge.
Right. Okay.
And that's breakfast sandwich every day. And
like
it was pretty good success.
Okay. I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have suggestions, but continue.
No, that's it.
Oh,
that's it, really. That's why I grab one. What I did was I grabbed one every day. I'd microwave for 30 seconds real quick and then carry it out the door and then eat it when I got to work. That's it.
Good method.
Saved how much money? I don't know. $40.
May I implore you?
Hit me with it.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a tortilla, though. You can get wheat tortillas.
Yeah.
Same ground turkey? Love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea. It's a good meat. It's a lean meat.
It is lean. It's weird.
But you can season it pretty well and everything.
Weird texture to mush with your hands.
Are soft boiled your preferred way? Scrambled?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It depends on the situation.
So basically what I'm saying is take that sandwich and turn it into a breakfast burrito.
I've done the breakfast burritos before.
Prep them with wax paper.
Yep.
Because then you can just have the wax paper and throw it straight in the microwave.
So what I've done in the past is I did breakfast burritos.
And you can freeze them. You don't have to fridge them.
And I just, what did we wrap them in?
Because essentially you got
I think I tinfoiled them and then ate them cold.
See, so the only difference there is doing the same thing, essentially making an omelet, putting it in a portable serving device, like a
Mhm.
tortilla,
Yeah.
wax papering it, and then shoving them in the freezer so they're frozen, and then you just take them out, frozen, throw them in the microwave with wax paper and nuke them for a little bit. Done.
Yeah.
Delish.
The
I just, you know,
the next one we're gonna try is French toast, like eggy, super eggy French toast, but with like veggies in it, like tomatoes and stuff like that.
okay, all right.
And then
There's another option.
French toast. Then you just grab two of these eggy French toasts and just fucking
Yeah, you can do that. You
stuff them in your mouth hole.
You can also. Let me hit you with something wild. Now, this would necessarily be a for both of you thing.
Oh, this is just a me thing.
Okay, that's it. It might not even be necessarily a you thing. But what
Samantha
you can
has
do
literally never eaten breakfast. I don't think so.
is, so you know how when you're doing French toast, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're usually doing egg,
Yeah.
milk usually. I know some psychopaths probably use water to liquid.
Freaks.
Yeah, milk. And then some people, brown sugar in there or brown like cinnamon or something to give it
something
a
to get a little taste.
Get yourself a protein powder that you like, and use that.
Interesting.
So you use that for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get good flavors: chocolate, vanilla,
Yep.
cinnamon, whatever
Yeah.
you want. But you can do that, and then you can essentially, because there's protein pancakes that you can just get,
Yeah, but they're like,
but like they're
Yeah.
fucking So you can just get a giant thing of protein powder, and just throw a scoop of that in, and use that as the base, and then you have still all the veggie and everything else, but with a bunch of protein loaded into it as well. Just an idea.
the other weird thing is last weekend I made sweet cakes, which are pancakes that you make with heavy cream.
That seems like the opposite of a good idea.
It was they came out, they were delicious.
Oh no, trust me, I believe you. I believe you in the word delicious.
Yeah,
But it's the same thing where like the 3 cheese chicken tortellini soup that we've done,
Yep.
spinach and whatever, is delicious.
Mhm.
In no way is that good for you.
Oh no. But we had no milk and we had heavy cream, so I was like, I didn't even know it was a thing. I was like, I could probably do this, and I started making it, and then I looked it up afterwards, and it's like, oh, it's a thing. They're called sweet cakes.
Gotcha.
So it's like,
Well,
genius.
if you didn't want to listen to us talk about cooking,
we talk about video games too, sometimes.
true, and our cooking escapades would get some people really excited. Because we've done some stuff. It's been a while. We've also got to get back on that.
Yeah,
We've been
Yeah.
cheating a lot.
mm-hmm.
We got to get back on the one-up train.
We've done a few things recently that I've thought like, oh, this would be a good Friday night.
Yeah, we've also talked about a few things just doing this or
Mhm.
doing whatever, and been like, sometimes like, I wonder if I can transition that somehow. Even if I end up cooking enough to have a meal for a week,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit because I'm in my house.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about new releases that you could buy instead of food. So you might need to eat food. I don't know. Either way, it's better than $50 at Dunkin'. Here we go. Number 1, Hum, a detective noir story for the PC. Number 2, Eternights for the PC, PlayStation. Number 3, The Isle Tide Hotel for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 4, Nor for the PC and PlayStation. Number 5, Heretic's Fork for the PC. Number 6, Super Bomberman R2 for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 7, Ad Infinitum for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox. I can feel I can feel like, I don't know if it's my sinuses or what, with the slight changing of temperatures,
Yeah.
that it's just right in the back, like top part of I can just feel that nose to throat connection feeling real weird.
Yeah.
So I probably sound great. Number 8, Axolotl for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Or I guess that is AK Solotl. So I'm wondering if it's an axolotl with an AK.
I don't know what an axolotl is.
Yeah, you do. You've seen them. They're the little like salamander-looking dudes that everybody loves. That are like bright white and they have the things out to the side.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You've seen them. You might not know them by name, but number 9, Construction Simulator Sanny Pack DLC for the PC and everything else it was already out on. Number 10, The Crew Motorfest.
Shocking.
For PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So if you're going to play that, maybe do it with Ubisoft Connect. Number 11, Deceit 2 for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. The thing I do every week with Matt.
Lies and Deceit.
Yep. Number 12, Gazzlers. I was going to read Guzzlers.
I also swapped that in my brain.
Yep, because Guzzlers would be a really weird game to put on PC, VR, and Quest, but this is Gazzlers on PC, VR, and Quest.
I mean, honestly, Guzzlers would make sense on PC VR.
True. Number 13, Heavy Duty Challenge for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Every time I go to the bathroom.
Number 14, Mortal Kombat 1 Early Access. Every time I go to the bathroom, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 15, Sugar Shack for the PC. My favorite shop. Number 16, Another Crusade for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. No Crusade jokes? Nothing?
I honestly had choice paralysis on that one.
My favorite type of thing. My favorite type of paralysis. Number 17, Baby Shark. Baby Shark. Sing
or
and Swim Party.
You could go the Ted Lasso route and go Jamie Tart. You know,
I know the reference.
yeah, Jamie.
Don't become an insufferable Ted Lasso watcher.
I know it's bad.
You start telling me believe in the middle of this podcast, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
I mean, you're more likely to get the Roy Kent out of me, which is fuck.
Yeah. True, but that resonates with everybody.
Yeah.
So Baby Shark, Sing and Swim Party for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 18, Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster for the Switch. Number 19, Body, Byteland Overclocked for the PC. And number 20, Brightside, Riddles and Puzzles for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Thrilling new releases this week.
There's a lot of them. Mortal Kombat Early Access. Curious to see how that ends up looking out.
I'm sure it'll be good.
I hope it's good.
It seemed like they've got it together.
Like can be some Mortal Kombat. Minus the fact that again, I suck at fighting games.
I just suck at video games.
You don't play video games to suck at them.
Well, that's the problem.
Oh, okay. I got you.
When you don't play them, you suck at them more. Practice makes perfect. Believe. One or two or three or four, 5 or 6. You evens, you odds.
You know what? 7.
Okay, so you're gonna be odds.
No, I'm only gonna do story 7.
All right, that's fair.
Is there a 7th story?
There is.
Okay.
There's a 7.
This is gonna be the Matt show now for his believe comment. I'm gonna make him suffer.
I'm just gonna go first. I'm gonna let you do your thing over there. Football Manager 2024 mobile will launch exclusively on Netflix games. Existing players with a Netflix membership can access and install the game through the Netflix mobile app from launch. The FM24 app will still be available on the App Store and Google Play, but will only be accessible with a Netflix account and login. FM24 Mobile will be released on November 6th, the same day as on PC and consoles. The game has been described as the, quote, end of an era, unquote, as developer Sports Interactive switches to Unity for FM25.
Or do they? When I read this, I was like, why? Luckily, I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me.
Doesn't affect you.
Not the Unity thing. The Unity thing is I'm excited for, but the mobile specifically, I was like, okay, really weird that it's going to be an exclusive Netflix thing. Like it's just weird. Yeah, I'm sure they got paid, but like,
yeah,
it's just weird.
Well, I thought it was weird. Yes. Good idea, bad idea. Too early to tell. Perhaps a shrewd business move. Maybe. I can't imagine the adoption rate of FM24 mobile is extremely high.
So I don't know what the actual mobile numbers they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it does decent on Google Play Store or whatever.
Yeah.
Just for the people that can't stop
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever they're doing. But it's a much simpler version than the desktop version.
Yeah.
This is starting to irritate the hell out of me. The microphone thing. Nobody at home understands what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter.
If I had $1 for every time I agonized over buying new mic stands, I would have probably $25.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that I have the one that I like.
Yeah.
I have the one I love.
Yeah.
But that's for my personal use,
Yeah.
not this shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just fucking insults over here.
Not to you. To us.
I'm not laughing at you.
I'm
insulting with you.
at our own expense. It's funny because it's the sign in, using the Netflix sign in even on your phone now.
Yeah.
But it's the part where I wonder how many people will see it on Netflix and try it.
That's kind of where I was at as well. And like, who's the person? Maybe some weird demographic analyst or something figured out that the crossover between Netflix subscribers and FM players is like really high.
Or do you like drop a new show, like Amazon's All or Nothing, which focuses on football clubs?
Mm-hmm.
Similar, it's in the vein of Drive to Survive. Like they're kind of similar. Drive to Survive does the better. Like, we're not going to pull any punches and not going to make it like a feel good story. But Amazon's a little different.
Yeah.
But are you going to do something like that? I have a football show, which they do have a couple on Netflix. But have a football show, and then at the end of it, or like in random parts, play ads for like Football Manager, and like kind of like weave people.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
The series ended. May we suggest this other series or play Football Manager? Do you want to lead Stoke City to glory?
Netflix's whole game thing is kind of bizarre to me. Like, because it doesn't really. You'd think they would push it more.
I don't think they believe in it enough yet.
Well, that's kind of where it's weird to me. Believe. Is
because I don't know what they like. This is the first big thing, other than a couple random little things that they've done in their own in-house like movie project.
Yeah,
this is the first time where they're taking the first time they're taking a title that I actually give a shit about, and then doing something with it in that space.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
obviously they're working on things.
If they put like all the Jackbox stuff in there too, I think that would probably do numbers, because that's very similar.
Yeah. That would make sense. That'd make a lot of sense. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Speaking of Unity, number 2. Starting on January 1st, a Unity runtime fee will be charged to any game that has passed a revenue threshold in the past year and a lifetime install count. The amount of the fee and the thresholds in question vary depending on the type of Unity subscription the developer has. The announcement was met with anger on social media, with developers concerned that this will impact those with deals to be on Game Pass, releasing demos, or including their title in charity bundles, among other things. Another concern was that developers would be charged each time users delete and reinstall a game. Speaking to Axios, Unity's Senior Vice President for its Create Services, Mark Witten, assured that only the initial installation would result in a fee. However, an extra fee will be charged if a player installs a game on a second device. For example, downloading it to Steam Deck after already installing it on PC. Studios with titles heading to Game Pass or other subscription services were also assured that the fee would be charged to the distributor, Microsoft, which I'm sure made them a lot of happiness. Some updates. Unity has closed its San Francisco and Austin offices Thursday and today in response to what it called a credible death threat, according to Bloomberg. And so far, 16 studios have switched off the Unity ads and IronSource SDKs in all of their titles and say they will not restore them until the new conditions are reconsidered.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of more details on this as well, if you're interested.
It's a lot of bullshit Unity's trying to pull.
It is wild how...
There's also rumors of insider trading.
I don't know. This is another one of those situations where, like, how did this get by so many people without someone being like, "Hey, maybe we should ease into this," or
That's the
maybe
person that got thrown out of the window.
exactly. That probably is the case. I don't know. Just wild changes. Wild changes.
6 days before this happened, major C-suite players in their company sold roughly 12,000 shares each of the company.
So people, I didn't hear any of this, so this is interesting. So people knew this was a bad idea and was like, "Well, I'm bailing on this situation."
It was the top level C-suite guys that probably knew they were going to face backlash and will probably buy again when it's low now. And insider trade is the way I would probably view that if I was a court system looking at that number.
Which they won't, because they're in
Or
on
they
it
might
two
not
half
have a
the fucking
choice if
time.
they get sued. Which there's rumors of a class action going around from all the devs.
This is
Because
I don't know.
It also, this is me tinfoil. I'm going to full tinfoil hat on this.
You get tinfoil hat. I'm gonna tinfoil hat in another way, but go ahead.
Perfect. So I'll tinfoil hat to this point. They were asked multiple times on Twitter, because what better place to have full, multi-level headed discourse about a full company policy that would change millions worth of dollars across everybody than on Twitter. And people were like, well, what about piracy? Like, if I install it and I don't buy it, I could, in theory, bankrupt a developer if I went crazy enough.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the scenario that you'd have to go crazy is pretty crazy. But, like, you could essentially target a dev you didn't like. Especially if that dev was an individual person.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven forbid somebody's indie game blew up.
Yeah.
They're kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that option. Then they were asked, like, well, what about piracy? And they said, we have our own internal piracy detection things, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Well, what are they? Because there's a lot of things. I don't know if this would cross into this realm, because I'm going to speak out of my ass. You know the GDPR stuff that's in Europe? That was a whole lot of, like, not tracking without giving full awareness to what they're tracking, yada, yada. So, like, when you go to a bunch of sites now, it's a lot of the cookie exceptions and all of, like, the disclaimers of, we're looking at this, yada, yada, yada. That's basically brought out of the European stuff, so the sites are compliant over there, and they're not banned. If they've randomly been tracking a bunch of shit on people's computers, that would get them kicked out of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's not okay. Especially seeing how technically then you're leaving something behind if you're saying that the install on the one device only counts once. What if I reinstall Windows and reinstall the game? Does that count as a second device? Like, I don't expect you to have an answer, but there's so many questions that it's like, did nobody think that this was going to go over without anybody else with a slight bit of common sense going,
well, I mean, this is that classic.
What about my 9,000 questions?
This is the classic, like, the people making the decisions don't really have no fucking idea how any of it works.
No, they just like money.
Yeah. They're just like, well, why don't we just charge everyone who installs it? And then, like, the smart guy in the back is like, you can't do that. And they just fucking, they just act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah, they're like, so you're going to charge them for demos? Yeah, no, exactly, we are, yeah. Are you stupid? Shut up, you're fired. Oh, okay, all right. So, in response to a bunch of this, RPG Maker came out with a bunch of statements that were really fucking with some people that were entertaining, because they were taking direct shots at Unity. I believe Unreal Engine tweeted within hours of this announcement, hey, here's your guide to your first hour in Unreal. Let us know if you have any questions. So
yeah, Unity just essentially,
they shot themselves in the foot so hard that, man, you thought the X amount of people that they let go like a couple months ago was bad. This would cripple them.
Yeah. And you're going to see the CEO resign in a couple months and get a huge fucking parachute payout.
Oh, well, he's going to get a parachute payout anyway. All the C-suites, somebody found the public information of, like, bonuses and stuff that they've taken from, like, the Unity site or whatever. And it's massive from all the C-suites, like the financial guys, I think, taking like 13 million or whatever. Like, there's numbers are just ridiculous, and it's like,
it is. It's absolutely.
So,
Unity.
Being pieces of shit. Used to like
Yeah.
them.
Used to.
What a fall from grace.
Seems to be a trend these days.
Anyway, I installed Unreal on my computer just to fuck around with it.
Wow, got him. Do it up. Do you know how to say this guy's last name? You're a Call of Duty person or a Respawn person, or
Am I any of those things?
yeah, kind of. More than me.
In the
so-
franchise that he's involved in.
more than me. So, did he get started in Call of Duty,
No, I
and
don't
then
think
he
so.
went to? Oh, okay, I don't know.
Seeing
that.
how he technically worked for the God of War franchise.
Well, yeah, he did that, but
Where did you see Call of Duty in this story?
I didn't put it in the story.
Just waiting for getting a fucking iPad thrown at me.
Um,
I'm gonna assume it's Asmussen,
Asmussen. Okay, Stig Asmussen.
or if you want
Asmussen.
to, put a little bit, put more on the U.
Asmussen.
Yeah, Mussian,
Asmussen.
Stig Asmussen.
Stig Asmussen. Game director of Respawn.
There's no accents across any of it, which is
Oh,
the
yeah,
weird
that's
part. Nothing on the U, nothing on the I.
I don't know. Game director of Respawn's Star Wars
But we all
Jedi franchise.
He's called the Stig.
The video game Stig, is leaving EA. As reported by Bloomberg, Asmussen parted ways with the firm, quote, after careful thought and consideration, quote, to pursue other adventures. Asmussen previously told IGN that there were plans for a third game in the Star Wars Jedi franchise, which is kind of strange for someone to. It's a little weird, but not a big deal.
What, weird that he
leave-
says that and leaves, or the other?
Well, that you are in charge of the two games and you choose to leave before the third.
like depends
or
on
during
what
the third.
Depends on what the other adventures are.
It's true. Asmussen worked for Santa Monica Studio on the God of War franchise for over a decade. Leaving in 2014, he joined Respawn after as a game director, leading development on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
Neat. There you
There's
go.
a lot of tinfoil hat theories that he is going back to Sony Santa Monica for the next God of War.
Interesting.
But, people are just... There's no...
No reason.
Yeah, just people, theorizing and wishing.
Leave before the remake comes out. See the remake. Go back now the
Yeah.
remake's done and try to.
Well, apparently he was creative director or made or whatever God of War 3.
Oh, okay.
So people are like, oh, what if he's going back for the God of War 3 remake,
Wild.
Yeah.
Number 4, Ubisoft's X Defiant has been delayed after being denied certification by PlayStation and Xbox, which is actually hysterical.
I threw it in here specifically because I thought we'd get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
The game's executive producer, Mark Rubin, said, quote, we realized then that we had a lot more work related to compliance than we had anticipated, end quote.
This game's gonna fucking suck.
mean? According to Rubin, the free-to-play team-based arena shooter will be resubmitted to first parties in less than 2 weeks, meaning X Defiant could see a mid to end of September release. However, the more likely scenario is the game will receive a conditional pass, quote, meaning we have time to do a day one patch with some final fixes to ensure compliance, which pushes our date out to early/mid October, end quote. It's not often you hear of a game getting denied.
By both, though.
By both when you're ready to go.
And then they're like, we realized we had a lot more work related to compliance than we had anticipated. What the fuck?
Right. Like
That's
what part did you not comply with?
That's not very confidence inspiring.
Like, how far off were you? And was it like fundamental things, or was it just like, oh, I need to add more to this?
Oh my god, I don't know. I love that story so much. Speaking of falls from grace, Ubisoft.
Right. Yeah. I mean, mainly our podcast is just Falls from Grace.
Yeah.
We're here.
Be a good podcast.
Falls from Grace.
Yep.
The Roman Empire.
The Catholic Church.
Have you seen that never had a gracious period? Have you seen the Again, I shouldn't be looking. I'm getting so distracted looking at this. Anyway, the I think it's the tweets or Instagrams or whatever that have been going around that are like how often guys each day think about the Roman Empire or
I
something like
have.
that.
I saw the one that you posted, and I wanted to be like, I feel personally attacked right now.
Oh, because I think
You like retweeted.
I
someone or
retweeted.
something.
I think I know who it was. I think it was Lily. Was saying that she talked to her friend's boyfriend or whatever, and asked him how much he thinks about the Roman Empire, and he said, well, like once or twice a day, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? And I've seen it a few times since, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
it's just
Like, what is wrong with men? And you're like, busy. You won't believe the Roman Empire.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, every day I'm relating current events to the Roman Empire.
The rise and or fall. Or just
I mean,
in peak Roman Empire times.
I mean, generally the fall. I guess
I feel
no,
like
not the
is
fall of the
more-
empire. The transition from the republic to the empire.
Ah, fair. Okay.
And you know what? In my little inside story here, little insight into my brain,
Buckle
is
up.
I relate everything to the crossing of the Rubicon. So that pops up in my head all the time, where I'm just like,
how do you get everything to the crossing of the Rubicon?
just because, like every choice, every choice
You feel
crossing
like
the
it's
Rubicon.
just that you're crossing the Rubicon, or that you're one step closer to crossing the Rubicon,
Just kind of like
like metaphorically.
Yeah,
this is
metaphorically.
this is our moment of crossing the Rubicon.
Yeah. I just like am constantly exaggerating everything in my head to be like, I'm crossing the Rubicon right now.
So just like the movie Independence Day and the speech of "This is our Independence Day,"
Yeah.
and me using that at the same moment for when my bagel order isn't right at Dunkin',
Exactly.
and I'm out here in my car screaming, "This is my Independence Day."
Yep.
That's the crossing the Rubicon
Yep.
moment.
I'm gonna have to cross this fucking Rubicon, or whatever.
I just picture you being like, I specifically ordered a medium coffee, and this is a small. That's it. Rubicon.
This counter is the Rubicon, and I'm gonna come over there and fuck you up. Oh god.
Check it into the state fair. Go through this gate. Cross the Rubicon.
Cross the Rubicon. Bringing the legions in.
I just like that every idea now. I'm gonna do the same thing now. I
yeah.
won't be able to help it, and you're just gonna get a random text from me where I just say Rubicon.
Cross the Rubicon. Damn. Good stuff. History.
It's between that and Independence Day. Like, what else are great hills to die on? Just making everything your Independence Day.
I mean, the Rhine came up in conversation today. The Rhine River.
How does the Rhine come up in conversation?
You're
like, yo, Cleopatra.
So
the Rhine.
Samantha, as you know, has no care in the world for history. But I will constantly just talk about shit.
She is doomed to repeat herself.
Yes. So
I should tell her. I should tell her that one day she's gonna fucking hate me.
She's the only young woman that works at her place of employment, and a lot of it is older men who are history buffs. So
as they do, thinking about the Roman Empire for the better part of the last 50 years of their lives.
Her boss is currently the guy who owns the company is currently in Europe. And he's doing some historical stuff. And
tell me he's taking pictures in Italy of the Roman Empire.
She's been trying to remember where he is and what he's doing because he told her and was like, "Oh, you should tell your husband we're doing all these things." And she couldn't remember because
right.
In one ear out the other. And then finally today she texts me just Rhine River or Rhine. The Rhine, I think, is what she texts me. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now."
I know roughly where he is.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out. I was like. She's like something with Hitler, and I was throwing all these things and she was trying to give me.
Because also something with Hitler. Just for the record, there's a solid 30-year window that doesn't narrow anything down.
That was the best part. She was like, "Oh, he's in Europe. He's someplace. I don't know, something to do with Hitler." I'm like, Hitler in Europe. You're really giving me a lot to work with here.
Let's see. I got anywhere from 1900 to about 1950.
I'm like, that encompasses literally 2 world wars, all right, if we're really talking about Hitler right now. But
all right, ready? The U.S. That's your clue. What time period? There isn't, just that's it.
Go for it. Nah, so he's on like a riverboat tour going down the Rhine. So, Rhine River. There it is.
I mean, I guess that's a thing you can do in Europe.
I guess, yeah, I don't know. So many choices. Hey, let's do number 5, I guess.
Okay.
Embracer is considering the possible sale of Gearbox Entertainment. The sale of the Borderlands maker would be a part of the firm's restructuring program, announced back in June. Sources familiar with the matter said the firm is considering selling off the studio after receiving interest from third parties. Embracer acquired Gearbox in a $1.3 billion deal in 2021.
Pretty big.
Do you want to take any stabs at any guesses?
Who would want to buy them?
What third party would be interested in Gearbox?
What third party specifically, or when they say third party, do they mean just an outside of the Embracer family party?
I'm assuming outside the Embracer family because this is interest from third parties, which kind of makes me think. All right, so if you're Embracer and you say third parties, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could. My gut reaction makes me think it's not one of the big 3.
That's what they want you to think.
Exactly. So I'm gonna say there's no restrictions on who it could be.
So
I'm gonna pull out a Sean Layden term and say it's gonna be a non-endemic entity.
Oh, look at you remembering a Layden quote. Microsoft seems obvious because they've been buying. In that same breath, PlayStation seems obvious because why wouldn't they try to snag it first? In both of those breaths, Ubisoft is struggling and would do that stupid of a move.
I got one for you. Netflix.
Also interesting. Amazon.
Yep. That was going to be number 2.
Square.
You want another one?
Capcom.
Saudi Arabia investment.
Ooh. After they had a failed deal go through, they sell them Gearbox for the same money.
And then you could throw in Tencent and all the other big.
What about The Rock? Or Kevin Hart? I don't know. I'm thinking of like that movie that's supposed to be coming out at some point.
I know, which is kind of wild because, I hate it, but it feels right.
I don't know why your tone in the turn and look at me for I hate it, but it feels right. Just like struck a nerve in me where I left my body.
I don't know because it feels right.
But it was the delivery of and everything. I just saw a moment where I saw us being videotaped and watching this moment back, and you going, but it feels right, and me just being like,
what the fuck?
Are we cowboys on a mountain? What the fuck is about to happen here?
All right, this is like the
all right. Hey, let's talk about Roblox.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, have you heard of my new Lincoln vehicle?
He was doing an NPR interview the other day, and he straight up quoted out of the Bible, and I
believe that. There've been a lot of things going around in the Bible lately.
I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like it.
Oh no, neither do I. I absolutely hate it. I abhor it actually. The most recent one I saw was it was on Twitter, and it was a, forgive me, Catholic or Christian, do not remember what it was one of the C's denomination was. And there's another one. The was like organizing a tournament, a Halo tournament.
This took a turn.
Yeah, no, it was organizing a Halo tournament, and it was supposed to be, I believe, like a female Halo tournament.
Okay,
was the way that they pitched it, and they said I was making channels in the Discord for the Halo tournament or for the ladies Halo tournament this weekend or something like that, and then said, it almost read like the Nick Castellanos home run thing, like as a man of faith, and it said that, and it was like as a so and so, because I believe in this and I believe that God created everybody in His image, I will not be allowing trans people to compete in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
And
There it is.
everybody in the gaming universe went, "What?" And then, the religion thing starts up. So a couple people back her
As it does.
and say, hey, no, we agree.
Mm-hmm.
We, we're not hating anybody, but we agree. And we're like, no, you're hating and discriminating. That's how that works. While also then,
Wait a minute.
because, anybody that truly hates the Bible knows the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, that's how
And
that
so
works,
here come the quotes. For yada, 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 made in his own image, but loves all and accepts all, and just throwing all the quotes at them, and then I never saw them again.
Yeah.
Because they got fucking yeeted off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They lost every sponsorship they had. Like, all their partners, because there were a couple, like, it's like gamer group partners of, like, here's this, I can't remember what it was, but, like, a gamer energy drink or something like that. Not Game Fuel or not G Fuel or anything, but like the smaller ones. People were like tagging them and being like, "Is this what you guys stand for?" And they're like, "Oh, we've already terminated our contract with them." Yeah. It was just like, man, you could not speed run losing money faster.
You think they were just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I throw up a quote about trans people. Got it.
It's either that or it's like they do fully believe in what they were saying, and then just had the crazy part to say, "I'm going to say this on Twitter." Where there's surely no way I'll get canceled.
The fucking Bible. It's a book, people. That was
Not even real.
Yeah, it was it's literally a work of fiction. I mean, sure.
The only thing that the Bible
I will give you that it might be based on true events. I could give you that.
No, I won't. I'll give you inspired by.
Yes, thank you. That's a better way of putting it.
Because
inspired by
don't
true
think
events.
There was a plague of locusts summoned on Egypt.
Yeah. Unless that just happened to be when there was locusts.
I also don't think, because the other one is the one of the abortion stories, right? Abortion's not good, not cool, whatever. And I'm like, I'm kind of not having a fence in the fight because as far as I'm concerned, for the most part, really not my problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the classic. It doesn't affect me. I don't give a fuck.
Sure. And then, you get the people that are outside Planned Parenthood and whatever with all their signs of, you're going to burn in hell. And I'm like, I was going to do that anyway, but I appreciate it. And then they followed up with, abortions aren't bad. I'm like, you do remember the point when God killed all the firstborn sons in Egypt. If we're going by your story.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Do you want to go with, and then they leave. And you're like, all right, so shut the fuck up then. Yeah. I appreciate you. But just so we're also clear, at one point I did try to have somebody sacrifice their own son on top of a mountain. And I let them get real close before I yelled, "No, wait, it's a joke."
Yeah.
I just want to see if you'd actually do it. Psych.
Can
you imagine getting to that level? Not just being like God. Not being ready to kill your own son. Neither one of those levels. The level where you would convince somebody else to follow you by killing their own son.
In that same vein, I've had a lot of thoughts recently.
Don't say that. Don't say
that. We're going completely left turn here.
Okay.
So in the same realm as the whole Roman Empire.
Right. Yeah, we're crossing the Rubicon.
Yes. I've been thinking a lot about how ancient peoples would interpret things.
Like modern things, or just how they
like things that we take for granted. So we know what the weather is going to be.
Right. And most of them did what no, I'm not going to make that joke. Sorry. I was going to go tangent you immediately into the joke of like, yeah, and at scout camp when I was a kid, we had a weather rock.
Yeah.
And if the rock was wet, it was raining. If the rock was missing, a tornado happened.
That's kind of my point. So we know when it's going to thunderstorm or when something crazy is going to happen. A fucking hurricane's going to hum or something like that.
Pretty accurately.
Can you imagine being of being in the ancient society, going about your day, maybe it's 70 degrees, 75 degrees, and you're chilling. And then 2 hours later, there's a fucking tornado or a hurricane or a massive thunderstorm or something like that. Or
Yeah. Can you imagine, while we're here, Pompeii?
Yeah. So it's like,
Ignore the fact that everybody's dead. You're just enjoying a Saturday out, having some tea, and all of a sudden, the rock that you guys have been living near explodes.
yeah. Or we get like, a fucking blood moon or something like that. People are probably like losing
The
their
first people
their
to see
goddamn minds.
the first and last people to see the first tsunami.
Yeah.
Where'd the water go?
What the
Anybody else
fuck?
seen this like weird?
You want to go hang out there? Anyways, video games.
First people with fire had to be a wild time.
Oh my god, so many burns probably.
Just complete confusion.
Oh yeah.
Again, back to the why you cut like baby in half. That's my style of solving a problem, though. But like, oh, you want to both claim it? I'm gonna cut it in half then and give you half. Oh, you're not really complaining. Okay, well, it's not your kid then.
Oh, wild.
But still, like, just wild problem solving. Oh, did you not want us to kill everybody? Put lamb's blood on your door. That'll stop me.
Oh yeah.
They're like vampires. Oh, they can't cross the threshold to your house if you don't invite them in. They must wait outside. Ooh, hearths are so bad.
None of it makes any sense.
It's all there, and I like mystical interpretations of it. Like I like certain parables, or like there's some good stories that you can kind of pull out of things if you understand that they're stories.
Well, it's like
Cain
fairy
and Abel-
tales.
Cain and Abel's a wild time.
It's literally like fairy tales. They're meant to be lessons,
right,
that are metaphors for life,
right, and we should have at
not
a certain point
interpreted literally.
And even then, at a certain point, we should have ditched half the book. If we were
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
if we were going to do that, we should have actually cherry picked the good things and then moved away from the bad things.
Mhm.
There's no reason to stone people anymore. Just want to be clear about Leviticus as a whole. We don't really need that chapter.
I mean,
The
some people should be stoned.
the I miss the gallows.
I
I
you know
never got
what?
a chance to throw tomatoes at somebody, and I would love in the middle of town down here to just have a sign up that says "Kid Toucher," and I'm hucking the hardest tomatoes I can at them.
I agree. Gallows should come back, but I also agree that guillotine should come back.
Ooh, yes, I'd agree with that. But I also want Marie Antoinette to come back. Just for the moment.
I've always wanted to build a guillotine.
I don't necessarily want to build one. I just want to actually go to a place where they like do the melons and pumpkins with one,
Yeah.
like a farmer's museum.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, yeah, this is how sharp this is, and then you realize that it cuts a string in two, and you're like,
yeah,
like down the spine of this. You're like, wow, that's so ridiculous. It's like when I was talking about, fuck the news.
There's nothing good this week.
No,
anyways.
but when we were at the state fair, and we were walking through the farming building of like the old equipment, the agriculture museum.
Yes.
And I still remember my favorite thing in there is the shovel that would have been the worst shovel in the world. I'd fucking kill you if you ever handed it to me at your house and said, "Hey, can you help me dig a hole?" And it's a literal plywood plank. It's like, yeah, just use this. I attached a broom handle to it. You're fine. But like some of the steel work that they had of devices, and you're just like, you guys had to have been just yoked out of your minds to move some of this around.
Oh yeah, shit's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then you see photos of them, and they're not like...
They look frail and old.
Yeah. So that just leads me to believe that they were like the tonest fucking people ever. So you go to touch their arm, and it's just like a fucking steel cord.
Yeah. Granny's taking her shirt off at the end of the night to go to bed, and she's just got an 8-pack, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
We should go to like Salem or something. I'm pretty sure they have like a... Speaking of weird contraptions and
Well, Salem's gonna have a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We were pretty.
We
close
should
to
go to
Salem.
one of those like weird fucking
We weren't too far off that one time.
what are they called?
We
Not
went
like-
to
I want to say
Carlin.
like a torture museum, but that's not what they're really called. Like
I don't know, Witch Trial Museum.
maybe something like that.
I mean, I'm sure they do because we were. I mean, we weren't too far off when we were
Yeah.
at Carlin. We were like 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess we should continue on.
I guess so. Because we can talk about Roblox
Ugh.
and how they introduced the Gallo system. No, not really. Organizers called off the Roblox Innovation Awards following the arrest of a developer. As reported by the San Francisco Chronicle, jail records show developer Mikhail Olson, also known as SimBuilder, was arrested on suspicion of having an unattended concealed firearm in his vehicle in addition to being in, quote, possession of armor-piercing ammunition and a large-capacity magazine, end quote. Security at the conference alerted local police after an attendee was acting disorderly.
California.
Why?
I don't know.
You're a
I don't know.
Roblox developer.
I don't know. I mean, if I was a Roblox developer, I'd probably want to kill people too.
Would you?
Yes.
It's Roblox.
It's an abomination on this earth. That
Then
should be
don't develop
that
it.
should be if there was a god, he should smite thee.
It just brings me to, what is it, Bruce Almighty or whatever, or the smite me, Almighty Smiter.
Oh man. Wild.
Oh,
Although
I know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
This is back to the religion thing out of nowhere. When I said it was, I appreciated like the fantasy takes on it and stuff.
Mhm.
Like the Vatican is fucked up and all the other things around it. Angels and demons. What's the other? Da Vinci Code a little bit involves it. But there was a book I read 2017 maybe that was dealing with essentially a guy that had spit on Christ in whatever BC, like as he was dragging his cross through the town to go to the hill.
okay.
And I believe I can't remember if he spit on him or if he said something to him to like degrade him. And as a curse, as Christ essentially made him immortal
Okay.
in that moment. And so he goes and continues his thing, goes on the cross, yada yada. But then this guy just lives infinitum until he's either like repented or whatever.
Mhm.
So he lives all these different lives, essentially goes through, lives with his wife until she passes, disappears for a few years, ends up meeting somebody else, and yada, yada, yada. So like it's kind of talking about all that stuff. And then it comes to this point where he is either ready to die or something like that, and ends up having to like battle Satan or some hellspawn because he's not supposed to be immortal, obviously. Like he's still living in the regular world.
Mhm.
And the Vatican knows that he kind of exists, but they can never find him because they want the secret that he has, and yada yada. It's a really like interesting book that you don't realize is that way until like halfway through when they kind of explain it to you.
Huh. Interesting.
I'll see if I can find it because I have it on my Audible, and it was actually like really entertaining to listen to.
Interesting. I'm trying to get this shit to work. Next up, we did have some good old state of play that took place. A PlayStation state of play, as the kids say. We are terrible enjoyers of video games, so we didn't watch it because honestly, it wasn't that exciting.
We're also running longer than I thought we would.
Oh boy, recap. State of play recap. We're just going to rip through the things they showed. Baby Steps, which is the whole Benefati physics adventure thing.
Oh yeah, learning to walk again.
Exactly. Roblox Hamilton. What the hell that is?
The play in Roblox.
I think that sounds like what they did.
Yep.
Then there's a VR Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord coming out October 26th.
Rise of the Ghost Lord.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you said Goat Lord for a second.
Both are frightening. Resident Evil 4 had a tease for VR mode and a launch date for its Separate Ways campaign, which is September 21st.
Resident Evil 4 remake also coming to iPhone 15.
Yeah, iPhone 15's got a slew of things going on there.
Weird stuff.
Well, we'll talk about the iPhone briefly. Not really in depth, so don't worry.
Thank God.
Um,
Conference alone was painful enough.
Avatar game was shown, Frontiers of Pandora,
Where is that game?
December 7th.
We'll see.
A date that will live in infamy.
Where we will cross the Rubicon.
Ghost Runner 2 is getting a demo on October 26th. And there's more colors coming for the PlayStation 5, the Deep Earth Collection, which is red, white, and blue. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's not how that works at all.
No.
Deep Earth is brown and green.
Well,
or like red.
I mean,
If you get
Deep Earth
real
Collection,
deep.
let's be honest here. Red, white, and blue. All right, America is the Earth. Take it over.
Says Japan.
Listen, there's a lot of psychological damage there. A lot of deep, deep psychological damage.
I still don't know how Oppenheimer ends.
That's probably a good thing. Helldivers 2 unfortunately got a delay. It is moving to February 8th.
That sucks.
Yep.
But also probably good. Probably beneficial for us.
Yes, and well, probably
Moves
for the
moves
game as
moves
well.
it out of the way of things. So
They showed Marvel Spider-Man 2, of course, because they got to cram that down everyone's throat.
again,
Tales of Arise is getting an expansion called Beyond the Dawn, and that's coming out November 9th. Honkai Star Rail is coming out October 11th, wherever the hell that is.
free to play.
Foam Stars has an open beta starting September 29th.
I wonder if anybody will play that.
No one will. There's something tickling my ear. I'm not a fan.
Hello, it's me.
And then finally they had to show, it's PlayStation, and so they're like, oh, show Final Fantasy, quick. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. February 29th. And that was the state of play.
So not too much. Didn't really miss much. So let's go right into the Nintendo's Direct.
Let's do it.
So we go to the Splatoon 3 DLC side order with a little bit of Nier kind of going on. Mario vs. Donkey Kong returns to the Switch with an updated version on February 16th. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is coming January 18th to the Switch. Fucking Horizon Chase 2 and Konami Rhythm Party game Super Crazy Rhythm Castle had to Switch on November 14th. And Spy X Anya Operation Memories and Spy X Family World sometime next year. Super Mario RPG Remake is supposed to be coming November 17th. Trace Memory is getting a Switch release called Another Code Recollection, including the sequel that never got released in North America on January 19th. Princess Peach Showtime, a costume-changing action platformer starring the princess, to do everything from solve crimes to a pirate that bakes. March 22nd. Oh, sorry. Solve crimes, be a pirate, and bake.
Okay.
Not a pirate that bakes. Saga fans can be pumped. What? Hello? With
What?
Saga Emerald Beyond coming in 2024. The first 3 Tomb Raider games are coming to Switch in a Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered collection. February 14th. Detective Pikachu returns on October 6th. Trombone Champ is officially on the Switch. I really hope that there is... Oh, it does say there's gyro controls. Hell yes. Using the Joy-Cons to play a trombone. Let's go. Battle Crush is a mythological battle royale. It's kind of more of a MOBA. Also out now.
Shots fired.
Contra Operation Galaga, which is a different name than I expected to, sometime next year. Vanillaware's next game, Unicorn Overlord, is coming in March 8th. Grabbing Ghosts. Oh, nope. Never mind. Ignore that. That's Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is set to hit the Nintendo Switch next summer. The Nintendo Museum in Japan is set to have construction finished by 2024. March.
Thrilling.
And hey, there's some more amiibos.
I can't believe we're still making those.
I know, right? They made another 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually. F-Zero 99 is, well, you guessed it, just like Tetris 99. 99 down to 1.
Amazing. Didn't see that one coming.
Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story from Graveyard Keeper dev Lazy Bear Games, is going to be on its way in 2024. And Tequila Works 3D platformer Song of Nunu hits on November 1st. It's all League stuff. Not that you know any of it. WarriorWare Move It comes out November 3rd. Sudoku Suikoden successor Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is coming on April 23rd. Chucklefish's Eastward is getting a Farm Life DLC in Octopia. Wargroove 2 is coming on October 5th. Dave the Diver makes its way to the Switch on October 26th. Wave 6, which is the final pack of Mario Kart courses, coming this holiday with the Daisy Circuit. And they're adding so much shit to that. Among Us is getting a new map in October.
There's a lot in this.
And then there was a lot of other stuff because the part 2 of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, the Indigo Disc, is still slated for winter of this year. And then we get Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door is coming to Switch in 2024. So, yeah, there you go. A lot of stuff.
There was, I think it was 40 minutes long.
Yeah, that's what it was slated for.
Yeah.
Per their release, anyway.
All right, Rumor Roundup. It's going to be a short one this time. It's not very exciting. There was some skate parkour gameplay leaked online. There was Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay leaked online. 88 minutes of it.
Also will be available on the iPhone 15.
Yep. That's also true, which is later on in the article.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck off.
Yeah, iPhone. Natively playing AAA games.
For the record, they don't look great. But
yeah.
They look like they're playing on a phone, but it is still impressive they're playing on a phone.
And USB-C now. We lost.
You lost.
Listen, I feel nothing for the Lightning port. I'm just saying stagnation.
I like that they said it's a USB-C port that you will still need to adapt to everything else.
Hell
because
yeah.
we're still not going to give you a headphone.
It's fucking
jack.
Apple,
Fuck
bro.
you.
They gotta fuck you. Anyways,
dude, would you like to buy this $40 dongle?
You're gonna have to, you little bitch. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition is coming to PC soon. A Fallout TV show teaser was leaked. Did you watch it?
Just give me the show.
You didn't watch it? I took the time to send that to you and Dewey, and neither of you douches watched it. I don't know if you did.
That was the Twitter thing.
Yes. It was a teaser trailer.
I hit play, but
Cool.
I didn't really
watch
pay attention to it at all. So I didn't realize that's what it was.
Twist the knife.
You want to know why? You want to know why? Well, one, because I didn't really pay attention to what it was. But two, I've seen enough set shots. Just give me the show.
He doesn't pay attention to anything I send him because he hates me.
That's not true at all.
There was a bunch of nerdy leaks related to the Switch 2, like what process the chip will be fabbed on and whatnot. So if you're
Wow, that's
a
nerdy.
big old geek, dive on in there. Dive on in between Nintendo's legs and lap it up.
All right, let's talk about some questionable things that we didn't write full paragraphs on. The lap it up is where I had to move you on. Playtika has acquired In-Play Labs, the mobile studio behind games such as Tiles of Fortune and Animals and Coins. Everybody knows those two games. Playtika will pay an upfront fee of $80 million to acquire the Israel-based studio, which could increase to up to $300 million.
We're going to go back and forth on these. California-based Ascendant Studios has laid off about 45% of its employees.
I love when he takes authority.
The layoffs come 3 weeks after releasing the studio's first game, Immortals of Avium. According to Polygon, 40 employees were let go from the studio. A former worker told Polygon that low sales were a primary reason for the layoffs.
It's interesting that 40 employees is about 45%.
Yeah, a lot smaller than I would have expected.
Yeah, especially for an EA studio.
Ubisoft, yeah, but then, like, if you're that small...
How can you afford to let go of half your team?
True. But also, if you're that small, then, like... What were you like? Were you genuinely expecting this game to be amazing if you weren't like if you weren't supplying it with like a bigger staff?
Yeah, who knows? Ubisoft plans to close its London mobile studio, best known for the Hungry Shark series. Hungry Shark franchise will now be managed by Ubisoft Barcelona, which has already been supporting the IP, and that is a weird thing when you think about it.
Hungry Shark?
No, Ubisoft Barcelona. Which accent do I do for
that? French
or Spanish?
Which one's which?
Exactly. Well, Ubisoft would be French.
Yes, I know that.
And Barcelona would be Spanish. So you do say Ubisoft Barcelona?
I don't know. Half the time they start to sound the same.
As you can see, I'm clearly in Spain.
Donald Mustard.
Oh my God. Colonel?
Chief Creative Officer of Epic Games has announced that he will retire from the firm following the news of Mustard's exit. News.
Ketchup's taking over, boys.
Charlie Wen has been named as the new Chief Creative Officer of Epic Games. He served as a creative consultant at Riot Games for 7 years.
It's wild that Mustard's retiring.
Yeah?
Only because we've seen him since Fortnite's been taking off. He's been like one of the more prominent figures, and it's just like we always heard about him during all of Fortnite's beginnings, and then it kind of dipped. He was out of the limelight during a lot of the Apple stuff. That name always came up. If we go back, if we never would, if we ever went back on our podcast, you'd hear us talking about Donald Mustard a lot. And to have him just be like, I retire. I'm like, I don't
understand why more people don't do this though. Like if you're fucking,
he's got to have so much
filthy
money.
Rich.
Yeah.
Why do you work?
When they were turning over $500 million a quarter.
Yeah. What executives get paid nowadays? Do you know how much fucking money that dude's got to have?
Oh yeah. Well, it's a good thing. That's why he's retiring and not saying, I'm going to go into consulting.
Yeah. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I'm going to go live on a fucking yacht.
I'm curious how old he is.
I'm going to look it up while you go.
All right. Number 5, EU antitrust regulators are reportedly asking companies if they are affected by Microsoft changes to its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which was modified to win approval in the UK. Sources told Reuters that an EU investigation into the UK deal is not likely. Number 6, Square Enix has lost nearly $2 billion in its value since the launch of Final Fantasy XVI. Square Enix said alongside its latest financial results that Final Fantasy XVI did not meet its sales goals and also reported a 66% drop in profit. I don't like that Matt put this in here because Final Fantasy is not their problem.
Well,
the problem is that they expected Final Fantasy to be the only thing to help keep them afloat when they released, I think, 8+ stinkers in a row. Outsiders was not profitable at any point. And there's like 5 other things I can name.
Yeah, but from, the money perspective, everyone was banking on Final Fantasy being the thing
it's also the
keeps
best,
them afloat.
It's also the best thing to write a headline about.
Yes.
But it's not.
They go hand in hand.
It is not what made them lose money.
Yeah.
There are 6 decisions beforehand that made them lose money, and Final Fantasy was never going to bring all of that money back.
Yeah. 47.
Pretty good year to retire.
Yeah.
Shit.
A new Sensor Tower report says mobile puzzle games have generated $42 billion since
God.
Sensor Tower began tracking data in 2013.
Speaking of mobile games, that's just puzzle games. How about mobile racing games? Nintendo announced that Mario Kart Tour will receive its final new content next month.
A fire has destroyed part of Stalker developer GSC Game World's offices in Prague. Ugh. The new injuries. No injuries have been reported. New injuries. It's a new injury for them. They've been getting fucked. Damages are estimated to be around $65,000. One of GSC Game World's developers provided an update on Discord saying that the floor requires a full restoration and clarified that further details of the accident are still being investigated.
So the quick thing, good that there's no injuries. Also, 65,000 doesn't seem like it's that bad, but maybe I don't know what this.
Apparently,
the
it was
cost
all
of
like
buildings
backup.
are.
It was all server backups.
The next entry in the Sims series, codenamed Project Rene, will be available to play without a core game purchase or subscription at launch. EA also said that Project Rene and The Sims 4 will continue to exist side by side, with more content coming to The Sims 4 for the foreseeable future.
They are 100% going to the microtransaction route.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
According to Microsoft's Director of Live Gaming Operations at Xbox Game Studios, Kristen Cox, more than a dozen games are being worked on for Xbox.
A new story trailer for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was released, and we already talked about that.
Yep, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, got a new cinematic trailer.
Like a Dragon developer, Ryu Gatoku Studio, Gatoko Studio will hold the digital product showcase next week. Let's fucking go!
Let's go! iPhone 15 stuff, which we already talked about. Do you have any strong feelings on the iPhone 15? Do you care?
I will say this. Strong feelings? No. I think it's a waste of money. But that's not a strong feeling, because I think a lot of high-end smartphones are a waste of money.
Yeah.
I watched the conference. I watched it live.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Cook's my spirit animal. I live for a guy. I know that Steve Jobs did this as well, but he was in a turtleneck, and that's a little bit too pretentious. But Cook was just in a black t-shirt and khakis, and I'm like, when you got fuck you money, you can do that, but also like that's what everybody, as far as I'm concerned, should work in. Just don't look like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You can just look normal. I don't need you to be in a suit. Then there were a couple things that stuck out to me. USB-C was cool. The game thing was cool. The price was annoying.
Honestly, the price surprised me.
It was surprising, but it was annoying because it's surprising that they kept the same price and everything like that. But it's like I said, it's just in the beginning part where it's like I know how much it's going to be, and I still think that's just too much for phones. But whatever, you're a premium phone maker, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's not even so much that what they're charging; it's that I know the wrong people will pay that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll pay more than that than they would for like their mortgage or the apartment that they're living in or their car or they'll spend. It's a humanity problem, not an Apple problem. It's like the same people that come in.
It's the same reason why the current average car payment in the U.S. is over $1,000.
Yeah, it's all just bougie shit for not practicality.
Yeah,
or it's status things.
Mm-hmm.
The one feature that didn't make sense to me why the fuck they were harping at home was the dynamic dock or dynamic whatever they call it.
Dynamic button.
No, the bar at the top.
Oh, I know.
I want to say dock, but it's not called dock.
It might be dock.
I don't think it was alliterative.
It was dynamic.
It was dynamic something.
They had a weird name for it. You're right.
Yeah, but like essentially the taskbar for that,
Mm-hmm.
and they just kept hammering that home, and I was like, okay, that's a software update. Like you can do that on other phones. It's not a reason to buy an iPhone 15. And then they went through the whole camera thing, which like okay, the cameras are good. No denying the cameras are good.
Yeah.
But they kept talking about how like creators and movie people could shoot films on iPhones. And I was like, you guys are really overselling the amount of people that are actually shooting on these, because Nolan is still we're still talking about the weight of the reel for Oppenheimer in theaters, not the MP3 we uploaded from the iPhone. But also I was like, man, why are they not acknowledging the fact that a lot of roughly 10 to 15 second TikToks are going to get recorded with this camera? Like that's what's really going to happen. Yeah. And then the other feature that was cool, but I was like, we're not gonna talk about that. Was the satellite thing, where if you like didn't have service, you could have satellite access to still like get roadside and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like that was a part. I thought that was an iPhone 14 thing too.
So I thought that as well, and so this might have just been like an improved version.
Mm-hmm.
But at the top of the screen, while they're talking about it, it specifically says 2 years free with iPhone 15.
Yeah,
And then there's like, yep, with the iPhone 15, and then they did that, and I went, so what is it after that ends?
Yeah.
If I keep my iPhone 15 at year 3, how much is that feature going to cost me? Because knowing them, it's my firstborn.
Yeah.
That I had to sacrifice at the top of the mountain I didn't have service on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and stop it with these weird stages. The stages and camera panning is like creeping me out.
You went further than I did. I didn't watch it live. I watched the recap.
I was sitting at work doing some stuff, and one of the guys I was helping had it up on his other monitor, so we just watched it.
My issue is, I mean, I was surprised they kept the price the same because I was assuming it was going to go more expensive. You know, inflation and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sick of. I mean, Apple's clearly lost their way a little bit, a lot of it, whatever.
Oh, and the Pro was titanium. That was their like big.
Yeah,
thing.
which that's what I'm getting to is like I feel I'm sick of the gimmicks. The colors were shit to begin with, but like when that's a big thing, like ooh the colors or ooh titanium, and then they fucking got rid of the switch, which is, the vibrate silent switch, which is an iconic iPhone feature that I've never heard anyone complain about it. I've only ever heard people be like, I love the switch for a variety of reasons because like it's satisfying more than anything else. You just click it back and forth. Love it.
Oh, so it's like an actual like.
Yeah, it's a switch.
Oh, okay.
Now they have the dynamic button, which great. Another fucking button that doesn't do what you want it to do. Like the power button that doesn't actually turn off the power. It just turns Siri on.
Yeah.
All that gimmicky shit. There was something else there, but I don't remember what it was. It's just whatever at this point. Battery life is awful on phones generally, on iPhones generally.
I think theirs was quoted at a day.
Yeah, which I mean, I have probably the worst iPhone as far as battery life goes. I cannot make it through a work day without my phone dying.
Oh wow, that's pretty bad.
I have to charge my phone usually by lunchtime. Granted, I use my phone a lot more at work than people probably do. By 12:45, my phone's usually at 50% or less. So, but then again, I have an iPhone 12 mini, which are probably the worst phone as far as battery life goes in the past, I don't know, fucking 5 years of iPhones.
There's also nothing, doesn't matter who the manufacturer is.
Mm-hmm.
Apple, Samsung, Huawei, I don't care. Doesn't matter. If any of your press releases, you're talking about the colors of your phones, fuck off. Because guess what everybody in the right mind is going to do?
Put a fucking case on it.
110%. You should just make one color and be done with it.
Yeah. Should do the old, Ford Model T route. You can have it in any color you want as long as it's black.
Exactly. Such a good quote.
That's a good quote.
But yeah, all right, cool. So that's everything. It's been 7 days. You got anything?
Not really. Did the old wedding anniversary because, the wife's got a double dip. She had to do the dating anniversary, like, ooh, we've been together 10 years, but then also be like, it's our 4-year wedding anniversary.
What is the 4-year one?
It depends on, Silk is the old one, I think.
Are there different timelines?
Yes.
Oh.
This is a whole fucking thing, dude. It's so dumb. Silk is the classic, and then the modern one is appliances.
They fucking... What? Why are these a thing?
I don't know, dude.
What is wrong with society?
We went for our anniversary.
It's a broad question.
We went to a couple thrift stores that she wanted to go to, and then we went out past Syracuse to this like greenhouse that also has a cafe, and that's their whole shtick is like all of their food and everything is from they've grown it.
Pretty
And
cool.
we did a flight of mimosas that were all flavored, and they had edible flowers in them,
Interesting.
and they were delicious.
Okay, there you go then.
And
What was
then
did you have like a favorite one? Favorite flower to eat?
I didn't. We actually didn't eat the flowers. They're edible, and they put them in the drink, but we didn't really eat them. We just drank the fucking mimosas.
I would have
But
chomped down on one of them. You tell me it's edible and you put it in there, I'm doing it.
there was a maple ginger mimosa that was really good.
Sounds like a good combo.
Yep. And then like I also got a turkey bacon sandwich that was like
Did they shoot the turkey in front of you?
no.
'Cause
It was
I'm picturing the other turkeys just walking around.
I wish that'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, it was all like goat cheese and all sorts of crazy shit. But it was good. I have not played as much Starfield as I want to, so hopefully this weekend I'll actually play Starfield.
Yeah, I just played a bit today to get further. So
You're probably farther along than I am.
I think I'm like 10 to 11 hours.
Oh yeah, you're definitely further along than I am.
And
I just got to fucking New Atlantis.
oh, okay, yeah. I've had to put myself on a path and just be like, we're just going.
Yeah.
Because the game's too big.
I landed.
If you play one game ever, like one game a year, this is probably great for you.
Yeah, which that's kind of the route I think I'm gonna go because I have so little free time, and you know how I am with playing games recently. I'm like, I'm just gonna chip away at this.
But like, I'm a guy that will play anywhere from around like 50 games a year.
So you can apparently beat the game in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you just haul.
Um,
And I know I can finish it in like 30 to like finish the storyline of it and still just have like exploration stuff. But again, I will then move on to other things I have to play.
Yeah.
So
I landed at New Atlantis for the first time, which is like basically the tutorial, and I was immediately arrested because I broke into the storage place immediately behind the ship, and I was arrested immediately and went to the jail.
I have not been arrested. I have not had contraband on my ship. I have also not found a ship to steal because every time I have managed to get over to ships, they take off on me.
Yep, I got sneeze.
Second time, third time.
Apparently, they fly away if you don't have the piloting skill to.
Yeah, but I still want to get a bigger one than what I have, and I don't like obviously it's good that the game gives you a ship, right? Because well, it's a fucking space game, you need a way to get around. But I want my own, god damn it.
Yeah.
And so now I need to go procure one.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I have only had like one or two chances. I've come across a couple legendary things already.
Can't you board ships in space?
Yes.
I'm wondering how you
I have done that.
And you couldn't take their ship.
You do it in the tutorial.
I didn't board anyone in space. Is it after New Atlantis?
No. I thought you boarded a Crimson Fleet one, maybe.
There's that's got to be later on.
No, because it's the Crimson Fleet beforehand when you're with Vasco before you go down and deal with the bad guy. Before you go to deal with the captain.
Didn't board a ship.
So you just blew up the ship with the dude on it that the Crimson Fleet took over.
Did they try to fight you?
Yes.
I 100% killed that motherfucker.
Okay. There's a dude, I think it's before you go to the planet to deal with the captain.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Crimson Fleet took over his ship and had him held like hostage and whatever. And so you can damage it by, they tell you to like shoot out the parts of it, like to kill the engines off of it so that way it stops moving. And then when you get close enough to it, there's an option that says board. And then you can go in and board, kill the Crimson Fleet that are on there. He's on there. He's like, oh, cool, thanks. And then
did not come across that at all.
All right, then never mind.
So that might be like
came across a lady today that was some doctor something level 20 ship that warped into the area while I was above a planet waiting to get like looking around to go down. And she was talking. She's apparently collecting rocks. She's a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't have any right now, but if I do, I'll see if I find you wherever the fuck you're going after this.
Yeah, hook you up.
And then she's like, all right, cool, sounds good. You might want to back up a little bit because this warp drive can get pretty ridiculous. And I was like, okay. And then they do a comedy moment where she can't get the warp drive to start. So she's like, all right, yeah, so you got any hobbies? Or and you're just sitting there like having a conversation with her while you're just like watching her in front of you not be able to take off.
That's great.
And then eventually, mid conversation, warp drive's kicking in and she's gone. So.
That's great. That's great. I like that.
But yeah, there have been some moments. But nothing too ridiculous just yet. I found some legendary like gear, guns, and whatever. I did end up on one planet that had like a space observatory that everything was 10 levels higher than I was, and I did not realize it I did not realize there were any enemies around until I turned the corner into one of the rooms and realized there were some enemies here, and then I aggroed the entire place.
That's pretty classic. I mean, that was like my first outpost I did on that same planet, like the first planet you fucking go to.
Oh, because did you not go to the main outpost?
No, I went to the main outpost, did the captain stuff, and then when I got in my ship, I was looking out of the cockpit window and I saw, there's a giant place over there. I gotta go check that out. Got out, went over there. All those people were like level 14.
Yep.
And I went through and murdered them all, took all their shit, and I ended up with a shit ton of contraband, and I ended up with a bunch of legendary weapons and stuff. And I was like, well, I know if I take this contraband with me, I'm gonna get fucking got. So I built an outpost just to put the contraband in because I was like, why not? And then I took off and went to New Atlantis.
You're never going to finish this game.
Oh, absolutely not.
But it's also good for you, who usually just does play one game,
that
you'll have a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take me literally all year to do a basic playthrough of this game.
Yeah,
so.
I'll be done, and you'll be like, so I'm at Planet 2, and I'm like, oh, God. What's your playtime? 150 hours, and we're now just into Alpha Centauri. Okay, all right, yeah. Great.
I was told to...
You'll have the best ship in the galaxy by World 3, and be like, yep, fuck you.
I was given some advice along the lines of like, get to this point, and then gallivant around, because there's like things that I guess unlock.
Which point?
Unit.
Spoilers.
They said get to at least to where you can start the Crimson Fleet quest line.
No idea when that is. So
yeah,
I'm at a point where I don't know what they mean by that. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a factional thing, I guess.
Because I'm to the point where I have superpowers.
Okay. All right. There you go.
No idea.
I don't know either.
So, all right, cool. We'll see you guys then in 7 days. Toodaloo, bye-bye.